Here we are back at the Empire Circuit in Beacon, New York, Stage 2. We're here with the champions of the team tournament. Team Sean, don't give up your spot to Ryan Field. Reason why we named the team that today was I was going to play, but we decided to sub out Ryan Field instead, and he probably did better than I would have because I'm a terrible player. So, why don't you guys tell us a little bit about why you guys play UFS and why you think it's the best game ever?
Who wants to go first?
I'll let Kevin go first.
Oh, I can go first? Man. Yep. I had the worst answer earlier when he asked me why I like UFS. So I think the thing about UFS that I really like it's got relatively simple mechanics. You play attacks, you make control checks. You can learn that in a few hours, but then the depth to which you can go to find creative plays and tight plays and just doing everything just right. There's just an incredible depth to it. You can just you really can't stop getting better at UFS. And that's what I like about it.
How about you, Christine? What do you like about playing UFS?
I like the interactivity. There's a lot of interaction beyond simple negation, and everything that happens in the game, everything your opponent does, affects your choices in the future. And it's a great experience. I love traveling, and the community's really fun.
Ryan Field.
The community is the best. Everything they said is just all the interactions that you get between. It's just like, should I lead with this? Should I lead with that? Does he have that in his hand? There's all the hidden information that it's just, there's so much you can actually do, even on every different symbol. It's like you could actually just go 2 symbols, and then it's just like you have a left field deck just on 2 symbols if you're dual symboling. So none of that was here, but I just love the idea that you could do that, even up to 3 symbols. So it's just all the variety you could actually pull off in this game.
So today, you played several matches. You just finished up playing against
Team Rochi Kunoichi Kyaku.
Thank you. I could not pronounce that in any interview so far tonight.
Can we just call you Snake Ninja Kick? I like it.
Works.
So when you had to play against those guys, when you were making decisions, who to pair against who. First of all, who won the die roll?
We lost.
Okay, so
Terribly.
So what did they end up pairing?
So their pairing was actually to pair my deck, Joe Hill, against their Iori deck, thinking that the explosive, really devastating offense that Iori could bring to bear would be the best bet against my... I don't even know how to describe my deck, really. Against the thing I was playing.
Mean.
The rude deck that I was playing. I'll call it rude.
So when it came to your pick, what decks were left?
We had our 7-hand size mature deck, and as well as our Phil Birch all-symbol deck. And we were left with pairing them against their Mai Shiranui deck, which I had played in the rounds. We actually got paired together before in the rounds, by the way, in the Swiss rounds of the tournament. As well as the Kim deck, which loops kicks forever to win games. We chose to pair the mature deck against the Mai deck because it has a lot of really excellent block modifiers and speed reduction to try to counteract his insane speed bonuses. Just fight him on his own turf. And the Birch deck has the ability to sideboard into a 7-hand size champ card called Paul Bittner, who we thought would just be able to outbuild him and just get an advantage that way.
Also, I wanted to redeem myself.
Yeah, and also Field got paired with him in the rounds and kind of was unsatisfied with his performance when he lost.
It was undersatisfying.
So when you guys were playing today, what was that clutch moment when you needed your deck to do something right then, to get the team, help them advance, into the top cuts? We'll start with Ryan Field.
To advance in the top cuts, some of those clutch moments was actually in the top 4 against a Lilith deck, and it was just I basically had to have the fuel to cancel the damage, making a killing, and then also responding to cancel out some Piercing Howls effect and other damage pumps with Throw It Down.
Yeah,
basically clutch throw it downs.
Throw It Down has a second ability I think a lot of people forget about.
Yeah,
Other than its third ability, also having a
ability.
+0 high block, that's its third fantastic ability.
But basically Throw It Down was the number MVP of this deck for the day. Just always the bonus damage, bonus card draw, and the damage negation.
How about you, Christine? What was that clutch moment that helped you win that game?
In the Swiss pairings, when we came up against these guys the first time, on the second the second game, I was very, very close to the bottom of my deck. I'm playing 2-dot mature. It goes through and puts the whole deck in the discard pile very quickly. And I was very, very close. If I had not turned over enough damage on that last move, I probably would not have been able to keep playing and would have cycled and ended up out of the game that way.
For me, I don't know if my deck served up a clutch moment, and it's really hard to remember because it's a really computationally heavy intensive deck, and even when it's like, oh, I drew the perfect thing, I still have to do a lot of math figured out. But the clutch moment for me was when my opponent's Hutzel deck in the last round of Swiss managed to draw one attack in about 14 cards over the course of 2 or 3 turns, and let me have enough time to put together a kill against him.
All right, next question. How do you guys feel about the format right now? You guys came into this aggressive format playing a 7-hander, a 7-hander, and then Phil Birch, who's a 6+ hander, and then
who cheated
sideboarding
size, yeah.
into a 7-hander. You know, in this aggressive format with those low life totals, do you guys find that to be, you know, liability?
It's definitely nerve-wracking when you're up against someone like Iori, someone who can output a ton of damage. But I think we proved you can get there with a low life total. And there were a number of people playing some other 7-hand size characters.
Really, in the team's format, you can also just get away with running high hands, low vitality. Because if you do win that die roll and you have at least one beefcake on that team, you can always just pair it against their other beefcake, and if you can just decide the matching that way. So it's like, okay, they took their 7-7, and it's like, okay, we can decide to do the 6-6 or 7-6, and just actually change it around that way. It's like, who's gonna live better? It's like you can actually judge that better in teams.
Yeah, I think that one of the things is that in teams, as opposed to in singles, there's going to be bad matchups for any deck, and when you have a 7-hand size, you have a bit more ability to build your deck with some fail safes and some flexibility, which can kind of blunt some of your bad matchups at the cost of having like a really, really bad matchup against a very aggressive deck. And so you just kind of say, okay, you know, maybe someone's going to show up with those super turbo aggro decks, but if we get paired with them, you know, maybe they'll be able to just pick me off. But if they don't, I'll have a lot of flexibility to cover anything on the whole range from like just merely aggressive to controlling. And that's how 7-hand size can be a little bit more. It's more rewarding of that flexibility, I think, in the team's format.
I think I was a little surprised today not to see some more of the throw characters, some people playing Jack Lamborn or Raiden, or somebody who could have maybe chosen us in matchups if they won the die roll and squished me or Kevin.
Yeah.
But fortunately for us, that didn't happen, and we did well because of it.
All right, let's wrap this up. Last question for you guys is, how do you feel about the team's event, and you know how awesome UFS is? Tell us a little bit about it, just to give us a good send-off.
UFS is too damn good. Thank you, Shane Duckworth, for the tagline.
Shane Duckworth's tagline is too damn good, just like UFS!
That's perfect. I can end it right there.